Welcome to the most anticipated return to incredible quality Zoom episodes of the Luke and Lewis Show. Guys, Zoom is back.
We are back.
And we're really excited about it. We're so excited about it that this episode's a little bit special. Everyone has two camera angles.
Yes. And you're choosing to show your chin, which is arguably the least attractive angle of any human face.
Well, this is the only angle you can see my chin until I get this surgery.
Actually, I think I look worse from above. I'm just holding my phone above my head, and dude, I got some wrinkles. Fuck. Check
yeah,
this
you're
shit out.
rotting.
Oh yeah, I'm.
Dude.
I think I'm deceased.
Man,
Cool.
this angle, you can make fun of it, but when I get my surgery, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be only chin. You won't be able to see anything else.
Maybe you should start up an Only Chins. That'd be great. You know,
Man.
did you see that Darren Levy started up an OnlyFans for his nose? I was thinking of doing that for my socks. But it's not feet.
Oh, really?
It's not a foot fetish. It's just purely like stank.
But how do you sell that? Can you sell physical items through OnlyFans?
No, I just like take pictures of it stanky and I like kind of describe the stank perhaps. I'm still in like the drafting process. Haven't made it or anything. It's merely just spitballing.
Yeah, there's something in there. I don't know if there's any money in there, but you know, it is an idea.
It'd be more of a passion project for that one guy on Instagram.
Yeah, he'd be really into it. Did I get any takers, by the way, on my offer to sell my socks?
I got a couple more. Once we talked about that on the show, and once people realized I was working in the sex industry, the floodgates opened, and you would have been shocked. I think I got upwards of 2 to 3 offers. I'm not sure how serious they were, but I think one of them was genuine.
That makes me feel really self-conscious because I've had none.
Oh wow!
So what's wrong with me, guys? What's the problem?
Lewis actually has the stankiest feet of everyone. We spent a week on the Gold Coast together last week, as you know, and Lewis didn't change his socks the entire time.
Yeah, and by the way, these are the socks that I wore for the whole music festival as well, morning until night, and then
trotted them through
kilometers.
a paddock. It was hot as well every day, so you were sweating. You were going for daily walks. You should sell those for big bucks.
To be fair, I was every single morning meaning to change and buy new socks every single time. I was like, every morning you saw me, I must buy socks today. I would come back after like 3 hours, no socks.
And then every night you'd say, nah, tomorrow's the day I'm going to buy socks. And then it was the day before you were leaving and you're like, I'm not going to buy them today. I've come too far. I'm just going to keep riding out these socks and then throw them in the bin when I get home.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that is disgusting. Yeah, absolutely. But
how was
a house full of VHS tapes?
Apartment, actually.
You know what's you know what was one of my favorite quotes from last week when me, Keelan, and Lewis were all together was it was just like a quiet moment over the table. Keelan just looked up and went, "I think I'm gonna bin all my VHS tapes." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "I just don't like the idea of going home to an apartment with 600 VHS tapes."
Yeah.
And he's still in Canberra, so they're still just rotting there like my forehead.
That is what I love about Keelan's obsessions is that you can actually detox him from anything he's interested in.
Dude, they age like milk.
Oh yeah, he's like like when a baby is first born. If they stop looking at an object, it ceases to exist. They don't have object permanence. Keelan doesn't have interest permanence. If he stops looking at something he likes, it just disappears.
What's your new one? Have you discovered a new one? Actually, Keelan's new interest, by the sounds of it, what we were talking before the show, even calling this as a show, I realized is pretty generous. But before we started recording our Zoom conversation, Keelan his new interest is just becoming me. Have you noticed this, Lewis?
I've noticed that.
He started skateboarding and he shops at Ganda exclusively now. That's all I do. Stop selling my two things.
Yeah. Although, look, I don't think that Luke, as the most generic man alive, you can claim any interest because you're just into, like, whatever you're into, there's a 90% chance that another white guy is also into it.
No, it's usually like another white 13-year-old has the same interests. And I've been meeting a lot of them down here at the Cooley skate park. which has been
Oh,
so
I thought
cool.
you were gesturing towards the hotel. I thought, fuck, I hope not.
Oh no, this is the balcony. Thank God. No, if I was gestured that way, that would be bad.
Yeah, okay, good.
But yeah, I've been hanging out at the Coolangatta skate park. I think actually every day I've been there, and I've been getting a fair bit of disrespect from the locals. A kid did like a cool kickflip next to me, which I definitely can't do, and I went, oh my God, like kind of respect kind of thing. And he turned around to me straight face, and he just went, "My name's not God," and then he just skated away.
Wow,
Dude, that's
what
so
a god.
disrespectful. Yeah, I know. Maybe he was God.
Maybe.
It was pretty
that's-
cool.
Luke,
Right.
did you want to check your audio there?
Oh, is my
Seems to be
audio bad?
It's peaking for us. Just make sure it's
Oh.
all right on yours.
I mean, it's definitely you're right. It's definitely peaking.
That's awesome.
Let's go. That's
Yeah,
great. Zoom
that's
episodes are back, guys. Live tech support throughout the episodes. We're
Thank you,
very
Ruben.
upset that it's come
all
to
right.
this. Lockdown in Melbourne was extended, and look, I'm going to say it again. I think it's getting extended again. We haven't had a 0-case day since before the lockdown, so it's we don't feel good about it. But we will continue to do the shows, regardless of how good they are. So you're welcome.
Thanks. We will do quantity over quality for the foreseeable future. Are you regretting going home to cold lockdown Melbourne?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I looked at I looked at my girlfriend the other night, and we were having a lovely night in, and I said, I wish I didn't come home. and that has nothing to do with my girlfriend. I love her. And I'm enjoying spending time with her, but fuck, I'm over it. I think that's what everyone in Melbourne has officially hit, where everyone is just fucking sick of it. Keelan and Luke made a great decision not returning home to this, because it's, I don't know, it just, there was a novelty to it. Like when it started, it was like, oh cool, like I can figure out how to entertain myself at home and re-engage my hobbies and maybe figure out an online hustle. Now it just kind of is just shit. So
I feel like
I'm over it.
I feel like I've escaped, and I almost feel bad. Like I just feel like I've fled the border. Honestly, I was saying on stage this week, which you can't do, Lewis, at the moment, but I was performing, doing shows, and I was saying like I realized that this is the closest I've ever felt to being a refugee. Like I fled 2 borders just to have fun and enjoy my life. Oh, there's a truck driving up the
Oh my
road. That's
God.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
great. That's
your
really
audio's
good. You're welcome.
still peaking, by the way, Luke.
Oh man, I think your ears are peaking. Oh, I don't know why. Great.
This is just great, guys. This is awesome.
What's disgusting is how much people enjoy watching the shit show. Is
Yeah,
that better?
Yeah.
Still
I
peaking.
don't even think that we are hearing your microphone audio. I think we're
That's
hearing
possible.
Luke's laptop.
No, I think you are. We can cut this out.
Tap on.
Oh
the-
yeah, you're not hearing my microphone.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh, great.
there we go.
Okay.
All right,
So I might have
that-
just
oh,
turned
man.
my actual microphone down all the way because
Oh no, this fucking sucks, dude.
nah, you know what? I think I was peaking on my audio anyway earlier, so I'm glad that I've got this tech support. But yeah, I've
Okay.
been getting discriminated against since I was here, Lewis. I
Really?
got pulled over on the way to my Brisbane show last week because I had Vic number plates on, and it was the coolest I've ever felt by far in a long long
Really?
time. Actually, that's not true. The day before, I skated 18 kilometers, which that's not the cool part. That's just a half a marathon on wheels. But I as I was skating along the Sunset, Californication by the Chili Peppers came on. So that was the coolest I'd ever felt before
That's
that.
pretty cool.
But
But
then-
you make fun of me for having like rough friends and being around that stuff, but it's undeniably cool.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, like getting pulled over and stuff. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
was
what do
only-
I mean? Oh, you know the story that you started? Just that. Are you alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you fallen off the skateboard?
Yeah, so I actually have a few times. But yeah, so I was driving along and I knew that I shouldn't have gone one route because I saw them pulling over people from Victoria a couple of days before. And then I accidentally took a wrong turn and I realized I was right at the place where I knew the police would probably be. And I just couldn't be bothered. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I just saw the lights and I saw them pull in after me. And even though I knew I was, here's the thing, I was 80% sure I was in the right. I was 80% sure I didn't have to be in lockdown and I was all good. But I was like, the 20%, there's so much uncertainty about the interstate rules and what date you got here and different news.
Well, the rules
websites.
are especially weird for you because when lockdown was announced, we had not been in Melbourne for almost a week. So there were just like for people like us, there were no specific rules. So you kind of just had to go what made sense.
So what I found out was the police also didn't know the rules. So anyway, I'm driving along. I see them pull up behind me. They tailed me for about 200 meters. I'm just thinking, boys, put the lights on. Like, let's get this over with. I got a show to get to. So they go, Roo! And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And I go in. And I get the little, like, just before they got to my car, I got that little Instagram video in the little, like, in the side view mirror of
Fuck
the
yeah, man.
cops.
That's an Ozrap classic. That's it. You have to get that.
Exactly.
I bet police must see that every time they pull over someone with a smartphone.
They just saw me like, oh, this is so much cool. I was like, this is the coolest I've ever felt. And then they go up to the car, real serious operator. So, this is senior constable, and I forget his name. And we're just doing some COVID checks today, mate. And I just killed him with kindness. I was being so honest. And they thought they pulled me up at one point. They were like, so how did you get here? I'm like, we flew into the Sunshine Coast at Maroochydore. And he's like, so where'd you get the car from, mate? Huh? This is a Vic car. He's like, what? And he thought he really had me here. And then his friend pipes in with, he's like, what? They bloody doing Vic hire cars now, are they, mate? And I was like, oh, no, my girlfriend drove it up. And they went, okay, cool. And then
Got him.
he said the best shit ever. He goes, wait, so you got let into Maroochydore on the 21st of May? And I was like, yeah, like the whole flight got let in. Like you boys were on that flight as well. There was no cops at the airport. COVID hadn't got that bad in Melbourne yet. And then he just goes, he said this out loud. I don't think he realized until after he said it. He just goes, yeah, right. You'd think you'd retrospectively cancel that flight. And I go, it's pretty hard to retrospectively cancel a flight. And then one of them goes, oh, that's why you're a bloody comedian, mate. And then they just like had a chuckle.
Oh, wait, he was saying that they would cancel the flight last
He said
week.
out loud, you'd think that they'd retrospectively cancel that flight, And I was like,
Bro, sometimes cops make it real difficult to respect them, you know? Like, very tough job, and there's a lot of risk involved, and they do great work, but some of you guys, you make it difficult for me to go, yeah, back the blue.
And then I gave them my YouTube, so they might watch this. They wanted to check me out after, but I then went on to talk about them on stage that night, which, you know, if they keep following me, they'll see the clip. But then they go on, and they go, right, so you got her on the 21st, and they go, so you've been here for 14 days, so you're all good. And I go, no, I've been here for 13 days. And then they go, hang on. And then they get out their phone app and they just start counting back on their calendar.
My God.
You'd think if they were being paid to be on the side of the road to check people who have been here in the last 14 days, they'd know the date.
Well, you don't even have to do any counting. You just have to do it once and go, if the number is bigger than this number, bad.
Yeah, you'd think they just do that before they pulled me over, but they didn't really know.
Well, but one of them thinks time travel's still real, so you can't be too harsh.
Yeah. So then one of them goes, all right, so you should be in lockdown. And I go, no. And I showed them the website. And if I got here before the 28th, that means I was all good. And I just had to monitor my symptoms. So I wasn't breaking any COVID rules, just in case there's any keyboard warriors out there. And I showed them their own government's website. Like, because I reckon they were about to try and arrest me. Like, they were like, all right, mate, you've been here for 13 days. What are you doing? And I showed them their own government's website. And they went, I think you're all good, brother. We're just going to go make a call. And then, sit tight and we'll be back in 5. And they called Queensland Health. And then they were like, yeah, you're good to go, mate. And they're like, so should we look you up on anywhere? Are you going to be famous? And this is how much of a douchebag I am. At this point, I thought they'd look me up and maybe realized or something who I was, because the guy started acting differently. And he's like, oh, you're on the internet, right? But I think it's maybe because I mentioned that earlier in the conversation. But I really made a dick of myself. He goes, oh, before we go, can we grab a photo? And I thought they meant like as a fan or like to show their daughter, right? So I go like, okay.
Oh, that's great.
And I go to put up my thumb. I go like that. And he goes, no, mate, it's just for the contact tracing. We need to grab all your information. And I started posing for a photo like a dickhead, and then they were just like, "What are you doing?" They're like, this is a
so
work
funny.
iPad. But yeah, that was probably the coolest I've ever felt.
That's fucking great. That's like, I can't believe that the cop was acting like time travel was real, but you still came off as the dickhead.
Yeah.
That's dumb cunt judo. You really
was.
turned it around
was.
against yourself.
Because early on, I was really winning. Like, I was correcting them. They didn't know how long
Mm.
14 days was. And they were trying to they were trying to get me off, I realized, and I was trying to not. Because they were like, "Oh, mate, you're good to go. You've been here for 14 days." I could have just been like, "Yes," and then left.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I was
why
like-
would you correct them?
Oh, because I just wanted to do it properly. I knew I wasn't breaking the rules, so I didn't want them to, like, chase me
Yeah.
down the road and pull me over again or something like that. Because I
that's
feel like
true.
if I had have sped off, they would have been like, "Wait," because the Queensland brain would
Yeah.
have caught up, and then
Yeah, they would have gone, all right, mate, you're free to go. You drive down, then you start reversing. You go, oh, I want to let you guys know I've got a body in the trunk as well.
yeah,
Just
I
snitching
was,
on yourself.
yeah. But it's cool being an honest Samaritan. You could learn a few things, Lewis.
But I had a good time in Brisbane. I got there and I found out that Forte was there doing shows with Chill in it. So I went to his hotel, and like it's really great. I ended up I'm in Brisbane for 30 seconds and I just end up in a hotel room with like just full of rappers. I was just transported immediately to my element. I thought, fuck, what am I
That's,
going to do? Because I was without you, but then I end up in my element.
It was just so funny. I left you for an hour and a half, and then I called you. I was like, "Hey, so what'd you end up doing down in Brisbane?" He's chilling, and he's like, "Well, I'm actually with Chillin' It," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I was like, "Dude, you leave me for 90 minutes, and you end up in a room with like 4 Oz rappers, and it's just very Lewis Spears. It's just very on brand."
Oh yeah, it was great. There were a few laser pointers being pointed at ships. A bit of illegal activity. It was that I was heavily encouraging but not participating in. It's really my element. But I like hanging out with all those boys because, and I think they like hanging out with me because I immediately soften the room. I make it a lot more soft. You know, I can fit in with the scary behavior, but I can also like really tone it down by just with my presence. That's
No.
why I'm like adding a nice pillow to an uncomfortable chair.
I guess aesthetically you fit in, like the way you dress and even act. Sometimes you fit in, but I would say 1-on-1, you're a gentle boy with a gentle soul, and that's where the
Yeah.
cushion comes in. And I can't. I was about to say I can't imagine, but I actually can. I can imagine that they are also gentle souls 1-on-1 as well.
Well, that's the thing. They are like Forte might not want me saying this. Like his rap is like all about tough and Blacktown and
I'll say it.
and being
Forte,
hard.
you sound like a fucking sweetheart. All right.
He is a secret sweetheart. Nobody knows this. Like you look up Forte's music and you'll go, "Fuck, this guy seems dangerous," but he's a secret sweetie. You know what we did? I get to the hotel. There's activities going on, and then I'm like, "All right, cool. Let's go get lunch." We leave. It's just me and Forte and some other guy who keeps calling me cousin, and we jump on the scooters that are all around Brisbane. Forte pays for me like a gentleman, and he takes me the scenic route. We ride for like 40 minutes along the boardwalk on scooters. It
Were
was
you even
lovely.
wearing the helmets like cuties, or is that not Oz rap enough?
I put the helmet on. They did not.
You put the helmet on.
Well, I'd never ridden them before. They were really heavy. They go
That
fast.
is-
I didn't want to risk it.
And that is the prime example there of the literal cushion that you often supply to situations.
Yes.
That's very great.
Yes.
I just want to say those scooters are everywhere in Canberra, and I got like one of those weekly memberships to the scooters, so I can ride unlimited amounts of time every single day. And all I do all morning is I just ride scooters around. It's real fun.
They're so fucking good. Like, I kind of want them in Melbourne. Like, the O-bikes were stupid. They're too big. The scooters work. Although Melbourne's public transport is so good, you probably wouldn't even need them.
How much is the weekly pass, Keel, and how much are you paying for these scooters?
$30.
Oh, that's like, for you, that's like less than $5 a day, because I know you're out there 7 days a week on them. That's like
Oh, he
that's
actually
really
is.
cheap. That's cheaper than public transport if you're actually using them to get around.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
And Canberra's quite small anyway. Plus, there isn't public transport there, is there? Oh, there's probably buses. That's it.
There is, but it's not that good. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
here
those-
literally just skateboards because it's so flat along the coast. I skateboarded, as I said, 18 kilometers. I did leave a blister on the pavement at one point. It got pretty bad, but it was a lot of fun, and everyone was just doing it. It's great. I've hit my
I
natural
called
habitat.
I called Keelan on the phone to talk about a video that he's working on. He answers and he's just incredibly puffed. Like he sounds like he's having a heart attack. And I'm like, are you all right? He goes, "Oh, sorry, I'm just skateboarding at the moment." And I was like, what the fuck is happening like to everyone? I feel like me and Ruben are like stuck in a box of despair and everyone's just picked up. They're like molding into the same person.
Yeah, I've even converted Devlin. Do you see Devlin's Instagram the other night? He did that like real pose,
yeah.
the skateboard pose, where he had the board behind his back and he's doing like these ones. And I've seen
Yeah.
Devlin skate. He's not competent enough to be doing that on Instagram.
Yeah,
I don't-
Devlin needs to get a little bit better at the skate. When I see a video of Devlin dropping in, then I'll let him post the photo with the skateboard behind his head.
Yeah, see, I'll like
only
post pictures of me literally standing there like a statue, obviously being shit at skateboarding, like very upright. I still haven't worked out how to bend my knees fully, which Ruben has been telling me, bend your knees.
He won't do it.
Well,
Yeah, Luke's skateboarding looks like chopsticks on a tech deck. It's really stiff.
dude, there's this guy at the skate park that sometimes comes down and just tech decks while his friends skate. It's hilarious.
Oh, really? That's so funny. Like,
It's
but
very
at a
Gold
giant
Coast.
at a giant skate park though.
Oh, like he's just like didn't want to skate, but he wanted to be amongst the energy of skateboarding, so he just gets there with his little half pipe and
so funny because
Yeah.
that's so inappropriately sized. Like the size
It's-
difference is crazy.
it's more embarrassing than me, like who just like kind of watches like them all could be good, and I occasionally try not to get in their way and ride over a ramp and go, oh, that was awesome, and then I go back to the side. It's pretty cool.
I'm upset that everyone's gotten into this skateboarding thing. You know, guys, I've been talking about Warhammer since the inception of this show. None of you guys are engaging in my hobbies. What the fuck's going on?
Maybe like get better. No, you know what, man? Maybe I'll give it a go.
That's all.
Maybe I'll
that's
give
all
it a
I
go.
ask. All right, you give it a
shake
go.
your
Now, do you
head.
have
I
$1,000?
didn't shake my
for a
head. I
starter
didn't
head?
shake. I had a twitch. But yeah, we need to talk about Logan Paul versus Mayweather. We just watched the fight a couple of hours ago. Well, I mean the hug. We watched the 24-minute hugging match that people paid $50 to view. It was
Man.
so disrespectful the way the people commentated the fight towards Logan.
That was the best bit. Like I understand that Logan is like obviously a shit boxer and he shouldn't even be in the ring with Mayweather. But the commentators need to realize that they wouldn't have a job without him. So the commentators were just bullying Logan Paul, which was hilarious.
At
but
one point-
also they were acting like they were superior to him when they were definitely not.
At one point, one of the commentators goes, "I can't believe I paid money for this," and I was like, "You didn't. You're being paid." You
The
should be
commentators were a little bit dumb. They kept multiple times they kept calling him Jake Paul as well.
They did it heaps. They even did it after the fight. They said, "Well, there you go,
Yeah.
folks. Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather." And I was like, it's so disrespectful to not even bother learning the opponent's name. They were clearly like, Floyd Mayweather fanboys, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Can you go down and read the thread that you tweeted? Lewis,
Yeah,
during the fight,
I-
was live tweeting disrespectful things that the commentators said towards Logan. And wait till you hear these quotes.
There's some zingers. All right, I think
These are
he's
real
about to
quotes.
do a TikTok, and it's always better when you say it like them. I think he's about to do a TikTok. Mayweather smacked him back to Vine. This fight is like 4chan and YouTube and other bad things combined.
Is that what
He
they
needs
said?
to Pokemon Go to the fight. That's cool for all the 10-year-olds watching. Paul twerking in between rounds. Oh, I think he's peed on himself right there. Look.
That one is not even to do with his internet like status, that's just rude.
Yes, they were just like bullying him. Like they were making fun of his Pokemon interest, his outfit, his inability to fight. It was literally like schoolyard bullying stuff while the tough kid beat him up. It was fucking hilarious.
Fair enough. Like, oh, by the way, it was very funny. I was going for Logan in the fight only because I thought it would be funny if he win. He obviously, you know what? At the end of the first round, he just started swinging like crazy, and it was at that point that everyone realized, oh, he hasn't really learned how to box at an elite level yet. Despite all the talk.
The promo reels he's been posting have looked great, but when he started windmilling, I think everyone, even his own friends, were like, okay, this is fucked. Yeah.
My favorite quote during the thing was Logan out here looking like Floyd's anxiety blanket right now. Because he was just laying on top of him. I think the goal was like he uses his weight to kind of like null Floyd's punches and stuff. But he just at one point was drooped over him.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
It's crazy. Like they didn't score the fight. Obviously Floyd won, but they did have like a ratio of punches thrown to punches hit. And Logan was like a 10% hit ratio. You cannot touch Floyd. It's crazy how, like, even at 44, the guy's so fast and, like, good. Which I think is, like, like, everyone who... It was done by Showtime, so everyone who worked there were, like, professional boxing people. The commentators, the judges, everyone in there, other than Logan Paul, were, like, professional boxing people. And I think they were just all a little bit upset that this was the biggest event that's happened to boxing in, like, the last 10 years.
They definitely went in with the attitude of, like, let's just take the piss out of this. And honestly, it would have been really boring if they hadn't have. Like, their commentary was probably the best part, even though it was so disrespectful. It was incredibly boring. Like, they didn't really touch each other for the first 3 rounds, actually.
No.
Like, they kind of
I think
just
it's like I think like the real loser in this is like boxing itself. Like that's the biggest event to happen to your sport for ages. Like someone's not doing their job properly if this is like literally twice as big as your previous heavyweight fight. I was looking at like how much money all the fights have made, and Logan and Mayweather are probably going to double like the heavyweight fight that happened like just a couple years ago.
If you didn't watch it, it was pretty much like when you see 2 junkies that don't actually want to fight each other, pretending to fight each other. Like when they're just like, oh, come on, you hold me back, bro. And like they don't actually, they're kind of swinging, but then they're not. And they're throwing like some random legs. Like there was a points where like Logan was kind of just like, he looked off balance. I thought he was going to fall over, but not because of Floyd. Like Floyd like was like, oh, and then Logan would flinch. And then as you would, if Floyd Mayweather tried to punch you, I would be shitting him like myself. I reckon he was just shitting himself for like the first 3 rounds, being like, "What is my life?"
It would be fucking scary. It would be so scary, and also like
I wouldn't
people were like saying that Logan's size is going to be scary for Mayweather, but like fighting someone that much smaller than you would be really difficult.
He wasn't even covering his face. Like I'm not going to pretend I know that much about boxing, but it didn't seem like, I don't know anything about what is a good boxer, but all I could tell was I don't think he's a good boxer. Like, he wasn't covering his face. No. He looked tired after, like, round 3, and I didn't really understand the point was just cash. They both came out looking like Times Square billboards. They had, like, Mayweather had an OnlyFans hats on. It was just capitalism, the fight. Pretty much.
Well, that was the funniest thing I thought about the commentary and everything that everyone was saying. Like, the commentators all they were talking about, when they were not bullying Logan, all they were talking about was how much money both of them were making. And I think it's a real big red flag. Like, if as a viewer of the sport, if all of the commentators are going, this fight sucks, but they're both making heaps of money, that's a real red flag for you to think, hang on, have I been scammed? Like, why did I pay $50 for this to be told that the 2 guys who aren't doing a real fight are making heaps of money?
Yeah. And then at the end, the commentator, or the guy hosting it, was trying to be like, in the ring, he was interviewing them both afterwards. He's like, trying to make it seem like it was a real tough battle and it was a good event. Yes. The guy was trying to pump it up. And then Floyd was so relaxed. He didn't even look tired. He was just like, man, it was so much fun. Like, I had a great time, and I hope Logan had fun too. It was like, if like we just like went out and like did a little casual gig, like, man, it was a great time out there. We just like had a lot of fun. And it's a box. It's a fight.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a fight, and they were both just talking about how much fun they had.
I know. Yeah, that's what was like I loved about Floyd was him just he didn't once call it a fight. He never said it was a fight. He never said anything about the fight. He just
called
was
it an
like,
event.
Yeah, it was a little bit of fun.
He was like, it was a bit of fun. He's like, this. It was pretty much sponsored by Cash App and Fun. Was pretty much the fight. And my favorite part out of the whole thing, other than the commentators, was Jake Paul just standing there texting, looking like Logan's pimp the whole time.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And then he uploaded this video on his Instagram. In like the last 30 seconds, it's like he didn't watch the same fight. And I know he just does this shit to get comments, but it's so funny. He's like, 30 more seconds. You've won. You've won.
And then Jake's going, oh, he definitely won. Like he was scoring it himself, going, 3 rounds to 2. And there was one point towards the end of the fight where it cuts to Jake Paul going, Logan's winning. And all 4 of the commentators at the same time say, shut up. They go, shut up. No, he's not. And then they all laugh at him. And then the camera cuts away.
That was
just great.
Another good part. There was one where he didn't even say anything. It cut to Jake Paul, and then I think one of them called him Logan, and then one started laughing, and then one said, "Look at him," and then they all laughed, and then it cut away again. And then they were saying like that his fight was still going to be better than this. They were like, he's fighting this.
Jake actually can box. Like
he seems like a better fighter than Logan. From what I've seen, I've
Logan,
seen very limited
that was the
amounts.
first time Logan fought a fighter. Like, the only fights he's had is KSI twice. And KSI, like, on paper, Logan should have won those fights because he's a wrestler, he's an actual athlete. KSI's just some nerdy dude, but he still trashed Logan, I thought, both fights. Whereas Jake has fought, he fought an NBA player and beat him, whatever. But he fought a UFC guy and completely trashed him. And now he's going to fight an actual boxer. I mean, the boxer has also never won a fight, but he has fought other athletes, other boxers. So I think he can box. Whether or not he can box on a level with other boxers, yet to be seen. But he could, maybe. He has the unlikable temperament for it.
Yes, but he doesn't have as much fun as Mayweather and Logan. That's what Jake's missing. It's just like, have fun with it, mate. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is fun.
Best thing about Jake Paul was him acting like Logan's fight was something that he should be proud of. Like, he was like, dude, you're just there. Like, you're just related to the guy. He was acting like, man, look at what I've done. It's like, you haven't really done much, dude. You're just kind of spectating.
Yeah, you're like Lewis in a hotel room with a bunch of Oz rappers. You're merely an accomplice to whatever goes on there. Yeah. And if the police ask, not even, I was never there, That's what Lewis will say. But I thought Jake wasn't even allowed in the fight after he said, got your hat. Wasn't there talk of him being banned from even attending the event? They must have just turned it round.
He's too valuable for promotion to ban him from the event.
That's true. Old Greg Paul probably had a bit of choice words to someone behind the scenes.
Greg Paul.
That's another one who's even worse than Jake and pretending like he's a part of it. He literally just did a cum like 25 years ago, and now there's like claims success for both of them. And it's like, mate, you should be kind of proud of Logan, I guess. He's like, seems like he's become a pretty nice guy in the end. But I wouldn't be claiming Jake Paul as like a good jizz. Definitely should have wrapped that shit up, bro. For sure. I wouldn't be claiming that. But so how's our lockdown been? Oh, you guys, it's just you two. How's Canberra been, Keelan? Any updates there? You've been hanging out with the puppy.
Man, let's make some fucking money. Let's do a sponsored segment. Aren't we sponsored? Let's do that.
I thought we were just sponsored by Fun. Turns out we're actually sponsored by Nobby underwear.
Absolutely. The best underwear in the game. And you know what? After wearing the same pair of socks for an entire week, it was really refreshing to come home to just like 20 pairs of underwear in my house. Really the best stuff ever. I mean, I've only worn one of them and it has been 3 weeks. But it's good to have 19 other pairs. That's, 19 weeks.
And if you wanted to save some money, because let's be honest, love spending cash here. We love making it. We don't love spending it. So if you don't love spending it, use code SOUNDOFF and you get $5 off your first pair of undies when you join the club. So get on, join the club. What are you waiting for? Be a part of something, you know? Oh, you've probably deactivated your Club Penguin. Cool, join this one.
Dude, better than RuneScape Classic. I picked up a few pairs of underwear just recently. They've got some glow-in-the-dark ones. I bought that with my own money. They're not sending it to me. I'm also a customer. I'm using our own code.
Yeah, you just want it to look fabulous in the dark.
Dude, I just want to glow in the dark, man.
Yeah, I've got those. The last Halloween, I got some glow-in-the-dark ones. And Lewis isn't kidding around. It's wild. It actually spooks you in the mirror at night. I thought there was another guy there, but it was just me with my majestic...
Spooky hog. That would be scary.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Good. We made some cash.
Great. Nobby.com.au. Get it.
Yeah. Now, Keelan, you've got this dog.
Yeah.
Show the Doge to all our video watchers.
Come on. Oh.
Whose dog is it?
It's one of the housemates' dogs.
Yeah, right.
Her name's Lily. Say hello, Lily.
Okay. Never mind. Ruben, how have you been?
This is shit content. Did you really think that was going to be good?
No, that's why I moved on.
You
notice I very swiftly transitioned away as soon as Keelan tried to get the dog to talk. That's when I realized dogs don't speak English and this is going to suck for a podcast. So
that's great. But now we're pivoting to the vegan, so I don't know if this is going to be better.
Okay. Yes. How's your lockdown been, Ruben?
Yeah. Look, I don't have anything interesting to say. I don't know why you thought you'd get better content.
All right,
over
show
here.
the dog again. Show the dog again, Keelan. Lift it up. Lift it up. All right. For audio listeners, he's lifting the dog, and we can confirm there is a dog. Great.
I had one interaction during my lockdown, with a member of the public. That happened just this morning. I got up really early, and I went to the park to try and write something. And when I'm writing a sketch, I'll say it out loud to see if it sounds natural, and I'll kind of write it in my head and then write it down. And so I'm doing this, and there's no one around in the park, so I don't have my mask on. I'm just sitting there, talking to myself, having an argument with myself is basically what I'm doing, because the sketch is like an argument. And then a fan walks up to me and comes out of nowhere and would have seen me all the way from the path to the rock that I was sitting on, just having a full-on argument with no one. And she walks up to me really unsure and goes, "Hey, I wanted to say I like what you do." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." I'm just sitting there, no mask on, just having a screaming match with an imaginary demon. She walked away. I was like, "Man, Frankston's really got to Lewis."
Yeah, she must. She's probably going to tell all her friends now. I met that Lewis Spears guy. I think he's a schizophrenic. He's 100%. Yeah. Great. Well, just before we wrap it up, loving all the people RSVPing to me to GimpFest in the Gold Coast, because they're in the 4-hour radius here. I'm currently
still getting more.
Yeah, I'm getting more people on the street. And also yesterday I had a guy at the skate park RSVP that he was not going to GimpFest. He's just like, "Look, I just thought I'd let you know I'm probably not going to bother to drive up." And I went, "But mate, you're in the compulsory 4-hour radius. What's wrong with you?" And he goes,
That's
"Oh no,
mandatory.
don't worry." He said, "I'm from Sydney." So I let it slide.
That's fine.
And it was almost polite that he bothered to let me know. He went out of his way to be like, "Hey man, I'm just letting you know I'm here for the weekend."
Well, no, I think that's valuable information. And if you do see us in public, I mean, you're not going to see me until lockdown ends, but if you do see us and you're not coming, we would love to know. I mean, if you're within the 4-hour radius, attendance is mandatory, so we're not going to want to hear that, no. But, if you're in Melbourne and you're coming, I'd love to hear about it. But if you're in Melbourne and you can't make it, that's also good to know, just so we can gauge the level of interest there.
And just in regards to the RSVPing, if you are going to RSVP in person, which we love, don't just scream the words GimpFest at us, because that I mistake that as, are you trying to market it for us? Are you promoting it to the area in the shopping centre?
We already know about it.
The other day, and someone just went GimpFest, and I was just like, "This is a real thing." I was like, I took my headphone out. I was like, "Are you coming?" And then they were just like, "What?" And I was like, "Are you coming?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Dude, you could have just said, I'm RSVPing to GimpFest," and we wouldn't have had to have this screaming match, because I go home and I jot another one down.
I reckon.
But make sure that you make sure to say I'm attending GIMFest 2021, because if you see one of us and you just scream out "I'm coming," that's weird.
That's true. Don't do that. You might get arrested actually if you do that.
I would say that at this point, coming to GIMFest is almost the default. So I don't think you even need to tell us if you're coming to GIMFest. Just tell us if you're not coming.
That's true. I do still appreciate people
that would be
like
demoralizing.
stating the obvious.
But we're not going to get a lot of them, I don't think.
We've only got one person so far, and it was at the Cooley skate park. Not a huge loss not getting that person there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, aren't you at the Cooley skate park every day, though?
And I'm the one hosting GIMFest. I actually flipped a skateboard for profit this week. I made $9.69 out of it.
Oh, you mean like you did a
What do you mean?
flip?
No, like I flipped it for cash. I definitely didn't flip it like a trick wise. I bought a skateboard. We regretted it. It wasn't a great skateboard. Meg broke her wrist on it. Did I tell you that?
What?
Meg broke her wrist running a skateboard.
When was this?
She was drunk. Like a week ago. I forgot to tell you.
Wait, she actually broke her wrist?
She went to the doctor. She got X-rays. They think it's definitely a fracture, like a hairline fracture or something like that. Nothing crazy. She's fine. But
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's not funny. You're right.
That's so fucking on brand that there's injuries already.
Yeah, so we figured the skateboard
sustained while
was cursed.
Intoxicated too.
Yeah, well, we went out for like a midnight skate as our daily exercise because we hadn't exercised that day. So we went out very inebriated after one of our live streams. And she fell off it. We then decided the board was cursed. So then the next live stream, we tried to sell it. And some guy actually offered us $200, but I felt so bad selling it for that much profit that I settled for $69.69, and he had to come to the Cooley skate park to pick it up. And I also got a crisp high five as well. So
sick! You got the exact amount as well.
Yes, he sent me $69.69, and he did drive an hour and a half from Brisbane just to pick up the skateboard. And he said he had no plans to ride it. He just wanted that. And it had Tony Hawk's signature on it. Super cool.
Now I understand that it had Tony Hawk's signature on it, but was the signature done by Tony Hawk, Luke?
It was signed by the Bird Boy, not the Bird Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we wrap up, we do need to update this. We've sent out all of the loyal listeners on a bit of a meme experiment.
Yes.
Just going out into the world and testing out their hello meme.
Hello.
Because we discovered accidentally.
Hang on. I have a couple walking to the hotel now. Hello! How are you? I'm very well. How are you?
Oh my God,
Hello.
what a success rate.
Sorry, I think I've engaged in a conversation now.
Oh.
Goodbye.
But that's how powerful this thing is in some places. So in Sunshine Coast, where we were, 100%.
She just said, "How are you?" That's the first "How are you" I've ever gotten.
Great. So in Sunshine Coast, 100% return rate. 99.95. It's a bit like disinfectant. There's always going to be that little bit left over. We had a 99.95% return rate, which is high. We had a 0.05% do you want to fight rate. So not, 100% successful, but no product is. So I think that's a huge win. And we actually sent the audience out to test this meme in public to see how it went. And many, many areas, this meme is incredibly successful. I have this scientific result from South Gippsland, sent in by patiscool to lukeandlewis5@gmail.com. You can email us at any time, unless you're being attacked by some kind of murderer. Family, 3 out of 3 reciprocated. Friends, 5 out of 5 laughed, 2 out of 5 reciprocated. Randoms, 0 of 8 laughed, 0 of 8 reciprocated. I live in South Gippsland. Most people hate the hello meme here. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Not the best result. I assume his friends were just being nice.
This one from Fugermer, who's from Southern Ontario, Canada, said the hello has a 90 to 95% success rate. But Canadians are traditionally lovely. They're stereotypically lovely people. So I think maybe they're just being nice. So I would stay still inconclusive in regards to Canada.
Yeah, I agree.
The British, not loving it. Joel said, hello had a 20% hit rate in London, which is not good at all. Alberta, Canada, said has worked 85% of the time, and usually they return the hello. Wow.
Ooh, that's great.
So Canada is a huge hit. So if you're Canadian, start running it more. It might actually make you friends.
Bust out those hellos.
Yep. A lot of people mainly just commenting that Lewis is wearing shorts on this episode of the podcast.
Shocking, I know.
This is an interesting one from Finland. I tried it around my friends. They all freaked the fuck out and set it back. So it was a 100% success. I don't know how well the Finnish public will view it. I'll try over the weekend when I have plans to go outside. So Finnish people actually schedule their outside trips, which is
man,
strange.
I can't wait for that to come back. Those results. I'm pretty happy with that because we discovered there was a 0% return rate in the Gold Coast versus a 100 in Sunshine. So it seems like this meme and all of these other countries and places, it tracks too. It either works incredibly well or not at all.
In the UK, it seems like the UK in general, it's just a no-go. We do not recommend. Toby said, just sounding off, international viewer, hello, absolutely bombs every time in the UK. Wouldn't even dare try it in Scotland. That has 17 likes and is also backed up by 2 comments saying, I can confirm this. And then someone said, I haven't even tried it myself because people look at you weird if you say hello normally here. So I would not recommend trying it in the UK. I think we keep it maybe in the Southern Hemisphere, except for Canada. It seems
to work. I mean, other than Canada, which could be an outlier, it seems to only work in coastal towns.
Yeah, it's a real beach thing, isn't it? Except for the Gold Coast, I hate it here. That was just I think that was tourist
regional coastal towns. It's definitely a small beach town vibe, meme.
So that's thank you very much for going out. Oh, sorry, Zoom.
We were saying thank you very much for conducting that experiment. We'd love to hear your results if you continue to do it. I mean, I would love to know an Asian country, a country that doesn't speak English would be really good, where it's not their main language. How does it travel there? How does it work in your language? You know, ni hao. I want to know. I mean, that sounds a bit racist, but
more than a bit, my friend.
Yeah, well, maybe it doesn't really translate there, literally. So, but I want to know how it works. One place that I think it worked incredibly well was the comment section of the Tom and Frenchie podcast. There's been a bit of a unreciprocated beef going on between our 2 shows, and we love Tom and Frenchie. And they love us. Their social media guy, the guy who runs their Instagram, doesn't seem to understand the joke at all and doesn't seem to enjoy it either. But that's, good on him. He's having a crack.
I don't think he understands the basic principles of comedy.
I don't think so. No. I don't think that posting a clip completely unrelated to our show and then captioning it Luke and Lewis and then writing a caption about us works, because the only comment that you'll get from your own audience is, I don't really understand this. But, he's having a crack. Good on him, aren't we all?
What I loved about this was we got everyone. I don't know how it happened, but they must have incited people to come over to one of our episodes and comment stuff about R. Kelly. Who knows? I don't really know what the joke was. I haven't actually spoken. You know how bored I am by this beef is I've spoken to Tom and Frenchie both individually during the week and have forgotten to bring it up with either of them. So it's purely just between the fan bases at this point, I think, because the hosts have got better shit to do. But we did encourage everyone to go over to Tom and Frenchie's latest episode and write hello underneath. And boy, oh boy, was it one of the most satisfying and yet confusing displays of power we've ever done as a show.
Oh, absolutely, because they sent over some fans that said some pretty horrible things to us, and we just wanted to just do a little bit of a flex and just let Tom and Frenchie know that what we are capable of as an audience. Now, I'm pulling up an average Tom and Frenchie episode, which, you know, all of them, and they have pretty much on every episode
unnecessary.
Under 50. Well, yeah, you know, you got to slip one in there. About 50 comments per episode. So 50, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not as many as we get, but that's pretty good for them. 50 comments. Now, the episode that we sent our audience to just, you know, display our power, just write hello, nothing mean, nothing more than just hello, has 262 comments.
Which
every
I'm disappointed
single
about
comment
it.
that's been upvoted on the first page is hello. There's not the entire Tom and Frenchie comment section has been buried by hello. And
I'm not even sure if they're aware of why.
Shot.
I honestly don't
not.
even know if they're aware, because neither of them brought it up with me during the week. I forgot about it. And we were going for 500 comments, though, so keep going. But just to prove how disciplined our audience really is.
Episode 138, we're going for 500 comments there.
But I want to see no hellos under 139. Not a single one. I don't want to see, because it was a warning shot. And I want us to show high restraint and discipline as an audience.
Yeah.
You guys just go ham on 138. But do not even touch 139, because
no comments,
no
comments.
Likes,
no dislikes, no engagement at all.
No engagement.
Episode 139. Don't even.
I mean, if
click on
you're a fan of our podcast, you can engage, I guess, but just nothing to do with hello.
Yes. What this is guerrilla warfare. We attack as one, and then we disappear into the night.
We duck into a little hidey hole, and that's how we win as the Viet Cong in this. This example, we are the Viet Cong.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a bunch of white people invading, so we're going to fuck them up.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Except we're all white guys doing podcasts, and there's nothing to do with warfare. We're just idiots. But other than that, the metaphor was going great until I debunked it. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. So keep smashing 138 of Tom and Frenchie. Get that hello up to 500. I want to see it go into the 500s during the week. And I commented one.
What I really like, I've just noticed this now, looking at 138. This is how disciplined the Luke and Lewis audience is, and I really like this. There are 200 and over 200 hellos. There is not a single, not even one dislike on this episode. Think of the restraint. That's over 200 people went there and saw 0 dislikes on the video and didn't even hit it. So I want to keep that 0 there. Don't touch it. Let's show off the discipline.
Being a Luke and Lewis fan is very similar to practicing Kung Fu. It's in the sense that it is a discipline that often at times requires restraint over offense as well. It's more about control and inner peace than it is actually about attacking. So I mean,
and I think that we live what we preach. I mean, I've kept this phone camera angle here for an entire hour. It's very uncomfortable, but I'm disciplined, and I expect the same from our audience.
Yeah, I didn't, because I'm hotspotting on my phone, and I was worried my phone was going to die if I left it open, and then we'd have no episode.
Hello.
Hello. There's a few more people. Oh no, wait, they're children. Never mind. Goodbye. You can't scream at children from balconies.
That's the end of the episode. That's the end of the episode, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry that we're back on Zoom, but you guys know how it is. It's lockdown. We're not going to miss an episode just because of that. So we're keeping everything spinning. Make sure you see Luke on tour. My shows are going to be announced soon. I'm touring in August and September. Keep an eye out for that on all my socials and my email list as well. And hopefully, look, there's going to be at least one more Zoom episode. And then maybe lockdown will end. I don't think it will. Keelan thinks it will. Who knows what'll happen. But hopefully we'll be back in person soon.
Man, Keelan, I've given you like 10 different thumbnail options you could use there in the last 30 seconds. You're bloody welcome. Great. Have a field day with that, mate. Yep. Lewis is doing a few. Okay, great. This is going to have the most clickbaity thumbnail this episode. Yeah, do one like you're taking a shit. Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.